streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish, quiet. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is and I bring the fire, gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I bring the fire, and I bring the fire. Everybody's selling truth like a brand, buying opinions they don't understand. Talking in circles, screaming online. Keyboard courage, borrowed spines. Power plays dressed up as peace. Same old wolves with different teeth. But silence is loud when the house is burning, and the fuse is short, yeah, it's still learning. I don't dance for the left or the right. I stand in the heat, I stand in the fight. No strings, no chains, no manufactured choir. Just gasoline thoughts and an open lighter. This is and I bring the fire, gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I bring the fire, and I bring the fire. World's on tilt, pressure climbing. Truth don't whisper, it's perfect timing. You can't cancel the smoke, you can't stop flame. Say my name when it hits, say my name. Why? Say my name. Say my name. Fire don't ask permission, fire don't need a side. Fire just shows up honest and exposes the lie. This is and I'll bring the fire. Truth is harder. Burn it down till what's real survives. No smoke, no mirrors, just heat and lies. And I'll bring the fire, and I'll bring the fire. American fire. Strike it, let it speak.
Hello and happy Friday to everybody. Friday, Juneteenth. Who's celebrating? Who's celebrating the Juneteenth? What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well today. We got a loaded show. Thank you to the Trump administration. Thank you to Tulsi Gabbard. Give me some good content for today. We got Tulsi dropping bombs last night on her way out of ODNI. We have Trump. And this whole Iran thing is getting wild. Israel, what is it going on over there? So we got lots to talk about. The wrong people are all mad, and the right people, well, let's just say that the first polls are dropping, and Trump, what he's done is extremely popular. The shift is starting. And so there's major panic as the world realizes, the City of London world, the globalist world realizes what they've lost, and that the midterm momentum is heating up, baby. It's time for the shift. We're here. Lots of messaging going on, signals. So we have so much to talk about. I am very excited for today's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also had a great conversation with Rich Does Politics this morning, which will be dropping. I believe the first video will drop tomorrow. Good stuff. He got me amped up as well, because when you see it, you can't unsee it, folks. Yeah, I said it. I had to get it out of the way early so you guys could make fun of me. But whoa, so much going on. Also, I've been noticing a lot of people big mad about Trump's Iran deal. So we got more to talk about that today, because there's so many lies, folks. There's so many lies being parroted around about this deal. It's pretty insane, to be honest with you. And so I do expect trolls to be coming in today. I expect all kinds of stuff because we're hitting some truth bombs today and people are not going to like it on the troll side of things. So bring them on because, you know, this show, though I'm not always right, I'm right 96.7% of the time, you know, so I fail. I have failures. But try to get it right most of the time. And it's because we're seeking truth. So we will always seek truth. We'll you know, break it down, get to the bottom of stuff. But we're going to have fun today too, guys. You guys ready to have some fun? We're going to have lots of fun. America versus Australia today, baby. Let's do it. Let's knock out a Commonwealth country. And you know what I just realized? I realized forgot to turn my, I forgot a setting on something. I'll be right back, guys. Give me 10 seconds. All right, much better. The sunlight was starting to come in and blinding me. So now we're in a good spot. All right, glad I didn't do that in the middle of a segment. Glad I realized early. All right, let's call out some people. By the way, folks, if you don't mind, just give your favorite podcaster here a little like, a little subscribe. We're gonna just whatever you can to help out the channel. Just get it out there. Tell the YouTube algorithm that you guys like people who don't play games, that you don't want to listen to the griftas, the fagga podcastistan liars. You want real stuff. So hit that like and subscribe. Let's shout out some peeps up on Rumble. Aloha Patriot, Chrissy Katz, holding it down on Rumble with AZ Tropic and Don Julio. Welcome, guys. Thank you for holding it down on the rums. Over here on YouTube, we got Dadbot Todd, numero uno today. One of the many. Cass Sink, Sebastian Chose, Ray Sandoval, Tammy Anderson, Susan Burnich, Bobby Girl, Sniped Your Head, William Magdalene, Gen X Maga, Kev the Tech, Michael Boyle, Miss Titan Fan, Frye from Nashville, LED, Ray Sandoval, Sean Dugan, Taya Day, Doc No, Sniped Your Head, Jay Tyrus, I Speak For You, Wise Old Man Show, I like that. Gray Fog, The One, What to Do? Kay Shuey, Scott Volkovich, Tammy Anderson, Alice Fordham, Mark R, Marco Sanchez, and so many others. Glad you made it, guys. Thanks for watching. Sebastian says, Ace, I'm trying to fight these boomer neocon bots on your last Iran video and comments. These people are insufferable. They can't read or listen. Trying to say this is a bad deal. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion about the Iran deal, but I gotta say, I need better enemies, or better trolls, because I deal frequently with trolls, people in the comments who hate my content, think I'm insane, want to call me a liar, call me stupid. They've stopped calling me a Jew, which is funny because, I'm not Jewish, but, I used to get that a lot. Look at that nose. But they're not very smart, most of them. I don't get many people who are like, this is why this is a bad deal. No, instead I get people who are like, oh, you're just shilling this. Trump's going to get blown up by China and Russia and Iran. This is a trap. I was like, are you serious? Can you at least watch my videos before you criticize? I'm serious. Like, we need better debaters. We need some master debaters to come out of the woodwork. Give me give me something to think about, because I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to be won over when you just throw out stupid stuff. It's crazy. Can't you see this is the globalists are totally in control. Trump has capitulated. He's a weak man. Oh, okay. It's just like, when the evidence is overwhelming against your stupid argument, you probably should get a better argument. Like, if you want me to believe something bad about Trump, if you want to make that argument, there's some arguments to be made. Not that I agree with them. And I think I have overwhelming evidence against them. But okay, there's a couple things you could say. Sorry, I'm doing some shifting here. But don't just throw it out there and like totally ignore when my video already answered your criticism. Stupid. It's just crazy, man. I I don't know, man. We need better trolls. So Jay Tyra says, warning, trolls are out about today. I think their David Pakman, Secular Talk, Midas Touch shows are off for Juneteenth, so the trolls have nothing better to do. Oh, that's true, huh? All the liberals are off today, celebrating their holiday. Yeah, oh, that makes sense. Living Positive says, all through YouTube, trolls are hard in comments for Iran, talking shit about President Trump. I know. And the thing is that they, it's a tell. It's a tell we're all the wrong people are angry. Let's put it that way. Okay. All the wrong people are angry, which tells us that what Trump did is the right thing. So, that's how you know. They tell you all the time. They show you. Aloha on Rumble says, don't Italians have big noses too? And Arabs? What's up with all this satanic Jew hatred? Blows me away, especially when Jesus is Jewish. Well, I mean, there is a lot of Jew hate. I get it. There is. It's crazy. But there's, I'm Austrian. I'm not even Italian. Kev the Tech says, brain dead trolls giving you things to think about when they can't even think for themselves. Yeah, I know. It's sad. I'm not asking for it. I'm just saying, like, can you at least try? Maybe it works on stupid surface level channels that don't actually do any work. They just kind of talk about what been spoon fed them. But when you actually do research and you actually like study this stuff and think about it, know history and all that, it's really hard. But anyways, all right, guys. Well, we're going to get into it. So we're going to start today with obviously breaking down the Iran nonsense because people are just going crazy over this. It's hilarious. Monica Poole says, Black Americans created free states. They made 1776 after the 19th crap. Oh, man. I love it. It is true. Our Freedom Day, our Independence Day is the 4th. All right, guys. Well, you guys know the rules. Chat is open and the best chat on YouTube, best community on YouTube, bar none. I don't even say that hyperbolically. I just mean it. This is the best. If you're new, you're going to want to subscribe. If you're interested in the real events of the day, don't even subscribe just for me. Be a part of this community, this amazing community where awesome conversations happen. Even while I'm talking, one of the reasons is we kick out the trolls. We don't allow trolling here because trolls, they're disruptive and they don't add anything. So if you're going to get on here and you want to be disruptive, you're gone. If you're going to be on here and you're going to be disrespectful, you're gone. We take care of it. But all other honorable disagreement, questions, comments is welcome. So blow it up. Hit me up. Tag me. I will do my best to address the chat in between segments. And as always, if you want to support the channel, if you just love what you're hearing, you can always send a super chat and it will be guaranteed to be read or answered. Thank you for your attention to this matter. All right. Did we already have a troll gone? No, I don't see anybody busted up yet, but the mods are in effect. They're watching. Troll Patrol. I like that, Nick. It's a good one. Troll Patrol. That's fun. That's a good one. So, all right. Well, let's talk about Iran. Let's make all the doomers mad. Let's bring some facts and logic to this what do I even want to call it? To this propaganda campaign that Trump is weak and has capitulated and has allowed Iran to grow into something amazing. Let's actually bring some facts, shall we? Because facts don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your narratives. They don't care about your neocon intentions. They just, they are what they are. Well, Jesse Waters last night comes out and he's doing good work on this stuff. He's actually breaking it down with those pesky facts that don't care about your feelings. And he writes, just in, Trump's Iran deal is in immediate effect, and Tehran just invited us to inspect its nuke stockpiles. What? Oh, you mean it's already working? It's been like 4 days. That's amazing. It's almost like Trump was right again. White House declaring Iran's nuke program dead. Strait of Hormuz open. 12.5 million barrels just sailed through, which is more than was happening before. So here's Jesse talking about this inspection of the nuclear stockpile.
The way the deal's structured is if Iran holds up their end of the bargain, they don't get American money. They get Arab money. And we decide what they can build with it. And we can see what they're doing with it after they get it. But they don't get anything until they blow up the dust. And this just in. Witkoff just briefed Congress that Iran's inviting the International Atomic Energy Agency to come inspect its nuclear sites and uncover the enriched material.
Whoa.
This is big. The Iranians have also agreed that U.S. nuclear inspectors would be allowed into the country. That's huge. On day one, we're already getting somewhere, hopefully. These are good signs. But it's not about words. It's about action.
I've seen skeptics of the deal. People say the Iranians will never change their behavior. Well, maybe that's true. And if so, they don't get any of the benefits of the bargain. But isn't it worth trying? Isn't it worth seeing whether this incredibly weakened position that the President of the United States has put the Iranians under, whether that motivates them to change their behavior?
The Iranians are dealing.
You know why they don't like this deal? The neocons, the globalist types, because they want forever war. You understand? That's one of the points. They want that lever of control. Now, they didn't want us to go in Iran in the first place. That's why they didn't join us in helping it. But once we got there, they wanted us to get stuck. They didn't want us to end it. They didn't want us to back out because they thought, okay, they bob and weave just like Trump does, which is how you have to do. You have to be flexible to navigate these insane policies, this insane world we're in. Well, the globalist City of Londoners, with their proxy state of Iran, freaking out that we actually finally went there, they figured, okay, well, maybe this can be the thing we bring Trump down with. Maybe we'll get him tied up there and it'll ruin his political future. It will crush him in the midterms. So we have some hope. That's what we'll bob and weave to. We can't keep him from attacking. He already did that. So how can we make the most of this? Well, let's get him stuck. And Trump just declared, we're not stuck, we're getting out. So now what is it? The next narrative is, it's an absolute utter failure. Trump failed. It's always moving to whatever makes Trump look bad. See, and then there's a bunch of neocon types who have bought the propaganda over the years. They haven't woken up yet. They believe that the only way to win something, the only way to win a military conflict is to absolutely obliterate, is to maybe even get boots on the ground and take over. They want that full regime change. But the problem is, guys, Trump does things differently. And the other problem for these people is that Trump's way often works. See, Trump is genius in this aspect. And what he keeps doing is tying up everything economically. Well, they don't like that because it doesn't do anything for them. Also, when you tie people in economically and they create bonds and new mutually beneficial partnerships, it actually enhances sovereignty. This will be an excellent deal long-term for the Iranian people, especially if they decide to rise up at one point. Because if Trump ties everybody in economically, especially the Gulf states all together, well, now Iran can't flex its muscles as this big bully. Now all of this tying up the strait, threatening people, funding terrorism, it's just not going to last, because otherwise they'll lose every economic advantage they have of these partnerships. Nobody's going to want to do business with them. Nobody's going to want to invest with them. See, you treat them like a regular country. You give them that opportunity. And once they get in, the desire to get out, it becomes much more difficult to go back to where you were. And this is Trump's way of doing things. And by the way, we keep seeing it work. Look at the Abraham Accords. Look at the relative peace of the Middle East. But they can't have this. And so they keep lying about it. And yet we're already seeing results. The fact that U.S. investigators are being invited in to look at the nuclear stuff is wild. It's one thing to have the IAEA, this international group that, who knows if we can fully trust them. They were part of the JCPOA with Obama. Look how that turned out. So it's one thing to have them let in. I mean, you don't really necessarily know if you can trust it, but to have our own people in, that's awesome. And already, this tells you that Iran is actually playing ball in this deal, and they're not playing the same games they used to play. And like to JD Vance's wonderful point, you have to at least give it a chance. You have to try. We're not stupid. We know what they've done in the past. We know how these people like to act. We don't think we can necessarily trust them, but you give him a chance. Look, I'm a dad of 6 kids. When a kid messes up, you discipline, but then you always have to give them a chance to rebuild themselves. And Iran, yeah, they're a sovereign nation, man. The only other option is to take them over or to stay at odds with them forever, which is not beneficial to us long term, is it? No, you give them a chance. And then if you got to smack them back down, you smack them back down. Now, Trump is out there addressing many of the critics, which is mostly neocons, which tells you kind of all you need to know, right? Neocons, Zionists, liberals, all the people we don't like. And that doesn't mean, when I say Zionist, I'm not saying somebody who likes Israel. That's not my point. It's the people who believe Israel is kind of the end-all, be-all, most important thing of everything, that are more loyal to Israel than to the U.S. That's what I call a Zionist. So those are not people I care to make happy. I really don't. So, because I'm America first. And I want what's best for us, and then we can help our allies after. But Trump comes out and says, the war has diminished Iran. It doesn't any longer have an air force, a navy, anti-aircraft equipment, radar, practically anything else. And yet the Democrats say Iran's better off now than it was 4 months ago. Can you imagine getting away with that? How stupid can some people be? I tend to agree with them. Initial reports coming out from the military is that we might have done up to $2 trillion worth of damage. $2 trillion worth of damage to all of their military. $2 trillion. So even if there's even if we gave them $300 billion, which we're not doing, that's just a lie. But even if that was true, that's still only 15% of what they lost. This is not the JCPOA. This is not Obama's deal, which it's often being compared to because they want us to still believe Obama was a great president. They want to keep lifting him up and making Trump look bad, but unfortunately that narrative's failing. People can see what we did to Iran. They can see the fact that their missiles didn't hit anything. They could see that we were in a skirmish with Iran for 3.5 months, and coming out of it, they look utterly defeated and weak, as we did lose 13 people, which is horrific. Every life matters. But 13 people and in changing the world dynamic with Iran, we've never had that successful of a campaign before, especially not against one of the big bads in the world, one of the nations we were told we couldn't go to war against. Now, Trump continues to push this. We didn't meet out of desperation. Iran did. They're finished. We'll play out the 60 days. They get no money, not 10 cents. He wants to make it clear. We're not giving them anything. See, and now Thomas Massie, of course, he's out there lying because that's what he does. He's a total tool, asset of the deep state. And he says $300 billion is 5 times as much as Congress spends on roads and bridges annually. I'm tired of winning. USA undertakes with regional partners to develop a definitive, mutually agreed plan with at least $300 billion for reconstruction, economic development of Iran. Yeah, the problem is in the details, Thomas, you dumbass, that none of that money is from us. You understand? Like it's an agreement to see if the Gulf states want to invest in Iran, if they want to become economically interconnected with Iran and allow it to become treated like a sovereign nation so that they can all get along and bring peace to the Middle East. Oh, imagine that. But Thomas Massie, the great libertarian who hates all conflict, you would think he'd like this. You would think he'd like the fact that we ended the war. But no, because the truth is Thomas Massie isn't who he says he is. All he cares about is trying to take down Trump. But the rapid response team from the White House says not a single U.S. penny is going to Iran. Iran gets nothing unless they fully comply with our demands and change their behavior. All you do is lie, obstruct, and make noise. You've accomplished nothing. That's why your constituents fired you. Well done. See, there's a reason Thomas Massie lost by 10 points. It has nothing to do with AIPAC. It has to do with the fact that he's a total, complete fraud. And we all know it at this point. His one big accomplishment ever was the Epstein files, which we all know wasn't really his accomplishment. It never would have passed if Trump had signed off on it. Trump had all the power to squash it and allowed it to come out. And since then, we've got nothing new from Thomas because the guy never has anything to say, but he's going to continue criticize all along. I thought as a libertarian, you'd be glad we pulled out. You'd be glad this is over. But no, he's got to find ways to criticize. And again, he's one of the people we're happy to have be done with us. Now, you're not told this, are you? Why is nobody talking about this? The Trump administration provides Iran with access to $6 billion of frozen funds, but this is hilarious, to buy humanitarian and non-sanctioned goods from the U.S. So here's your money. Why don't you give it to us? Funds will be released in phases starting with the 60-day ceasefire extension. So, they're going to have to earn it. But that money is coming right back to us. As Mark Forney says, Iran's being forced to spend unfrozen funds on American goods, and they're getting them back in the form of allowance based on good behavior. Trump won, Iran lost, the American empire rises. Amen. I think it's pretty obvious to see. But, if you want to be a retard, if you want to believe parroted narratives without actually looking at the details, see, too many people still are just happy to be spoon-fed. They're, when it comes to their information, they're like little baby birds. Chew it up and spit it to me, mommy. I can't think for myself. Yep. That's the people who think the deal is a bad deal. That, or they're purposely lying because they're actually scared. Now, here's a good example of just how crushed Iran actually is and why this deal is no way near as bad as anybody wants you to believe.
Peter, how do you think this deal's going down in D.C.?
I think a lot of people on the left and on the right are being critical of it, but I think they're lacking in imagination in what Trump is trying to do here. Look, everybody wants there to be a final solution to have the Iran problem solved. That's not in the cards. The question is, where do you go from here? Iran is in an enormously weakened position. If you look at the estimates of just the economic damage they've faced, you talked about their military has basically been decimated. The estimates are that they have suffered economic costs of between 40 and 50%, Jesse, of their entire gross domestic product.
40 to 50% of their GDP. You understand how devastating that would be? Imagine in America if our GDP collapsed by that much. The Great Depression wasn't anywhere close to negative 50%. Guys, this $300 billion that's being flown around, it's nothing compared to the damage done to Iran. And if their weakened position, their devastated position, you can make the argument that this is a perfect time for these other Gulf states to jump in with some investment, help rebuild, and get very tied to Iran. See, the Trump team is not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. Look how Trump has timed so many different things. Look how his way just always seems to work. Tariffs worked great despite the initial uproar. Venezuela worked out great despite the initial uproar. The tax cuts and deregulations are working out great despite the initial uproar. Always proven right. Do you really think it's going to be different this time? As Trump said at the G7 in front of the world leaders, I'm always right, and they know it. I'm the boss. Yeah. And those of us smart enough to see it can see it. But 40 to 50%, guys, think for a second how massive that is. In a country of 90 million people, that's a lot of lost money. That's a lot of lost infrastructure. That is a country on the verge of collapse. You can't lose that much in your economy, plus your military devastated, and bounce back. That'll help. These Iranians squawking, the people saying that Iran is in a great position, there's only one word for those people. It's retarded. That's the word.
That's massive. So the question is, they are a fanatical regime, but fanatics believe in self-preservation as well. And so there's an opportunity to do a deal. Look at the way that this has been structured. What Trump is doing is saying Iran is going to commit to these things. And by the way, the money is going to flow when we sign off and when the people in the region that most hate the Iranians, the Gulf states, when they are prepared to write a check. And by the way, those checks are not going to go to banks in Iran. They are going to pay the contractors who are creating the economic projects in the country. So it's not a case where Obama handed them a bunch of cash. So look, it could all go south. It could all fall apart. But I think it's a really good effort to try to bring some finality to what has been a problem for 47 years.
Exactly. And he nails it right there. See, J.D. Vance has said it. Trump said it. If they mess around, we go back to bombing. But here's to everybody, because I get this all the time and I see it all the time. You've never trusted Iran. Iran has never come along. They have never, they'll never keep to a deal. Okay, fine. You know what your never is based on? It's based on 47 years. That's it. Historically, we've never been here before because in 47 years, Iran's never been decimated before. They've never been had their military obliterated before. They've never had their economy crash 40 to 50% before. So don't tell me about the Iranians because you don't know. Every single person criticizing this, you can't trust Iran. Well, yeah, duh. But you know what? The past is not prologue here because we've never been here, folks. We've never been here. Trump reset the board. And what he's saying is when we're giving it a chance, the board has been reset. Let's see what happens. And so for everybody who thinks they know is what's going to happen, they have no idea. You can't know when we're at a new place where we've never been before. You know what happens in the past when countries get obliterated in this way? They capitulate unless you treat them terribly, like the Treaty of Versailles treated Germany. Because remember, after World War I, Treaty of Versailles, you know what it said? Germany can have no military. And it has to pay for the entire war. You know what that did? It led Germany under the Weimar Republic to completely collapse culturally and economically. Inflation was in the hundreds of percentile. People were starving. It would take barrels of cash to pay for bread. You know what that did? That allowed a man named Adolf Hitler to say, this is unfair. The people were suffering so much that he rose to power, and we all know how that ended. That's what happens when you treat people, an entire country, that terribly. What this does with a weakened economy and a weakened military, a completely obliterated military, this does set the stage where the people have a better chance of rising up and taking their country back than ever before. We've never been here before, folks. So how about we give it a chance? And anybody telling me that they know what's going to happen, they have no idea. And that's why I don't listen to them. Everybody telling me Trump's wrong. Trump doesn't know what he's doing. You know better than Trump. You knew how bad the devastation is. You see all the pieces on the board. You have all that intel. No, you don't. So I'm not going to trust anybody who's critical of this because Trump's proven himself right to me for 10 plus years. All the critics of him have proven themselves wrong to me for 10 plus years. I'm going to go with the one who's been proven right, especially in a new situation. Now, Jesse, I'm sharing a lot of Jesse lately, but that's because he's doing great stuff. He paints the picture really well here.
Greg made such a good point yesterday, and it's maybe with age comes wisdom.
Thank you.
But he really stepped back from this and looked at the big picture. And let's remind everybody what Greg said. We whipped Iran. Their nuke program is dead. The Ayatollah is dead. We basically did it with 12 casualties, God bless them, and no ground troops. And now the United States is the world's leading exporter of energy.
Yep.
And we did it in 3 months. You look at that and you tell any Democrat president over the last 47 years, would you take those results? All of them would say yes. And oil is at the same price it was now than it was before the war. I mean, those are incredible results. But let's get into the details.
Incredible. He's right. They're incredible results. See, one day with the backstop of history, so you can ask yourself right now, Do you want to be on the side of history? Can you allow yourself to step back and do the 30,000 foot view right here? Or are you going to stay in the weeds and let your emotions take over? See, if you step back into the 30,000 foot view, instead of asking yourself, what if it doesn't work? Ask yourself, what if it does? Because as we've been proven time and time again, that is actually the way it goes with the right people in charge, with President Trump in charge. What if it does work? Because the what if it doesn't isn't honestly that big a deal. We just go right back to bombing. A country that's already falling apart, a country that's already on the verge of collapse. Yeah, we could just do it more. That's the what if it doesn't work. Not very scary, is it? They've already shown that they have no capabilities to really hurt us. They've already shown that they're so defeated at this point, they can't even really hurt Israel. If you're one of those people who all you care about is Israel and they're your number one, fine. What's Iran going to do to Israel right now? How about a whole lot of nothing? They don't have the same capabilities of Israel. And by the way, we still hold the biggest stick by far. It's not even close. If Iran was 40% as strong as us before this, now they're maybe 10% as strong. That's how much we've knocked them back. And so this what if it goes wrong thing, it's a stupid argument because we're in full control here. The what if it goes well, on the other hand, is historic. It will go down as one of the greatest moves in world history. It could completely shape the Middle East going forward. It could completely bring peace to the Middle East going forward. And it took Iran completely off the board as a big bad and severely weakened the entire globalist Davos agenda with China as well. So anybody coming out to me saying, no, look how they won. I'm like, are you stupid? I can't see one single way Iran won. And guess what? I pay a lot more attention than 99% of people. So don't tell me how they won because you don't have an argument. You don't have an argument. You have emotion that you didn't get it to end the way you wanted it to. Wah, cry. Go be a baby and cry. I didn't get my way. This isn't how I wanted it to end. Oh, well. The person who knows way better than you got the best ending. And Glenn Beck breaks this down really well. He says, I get why so many people are frustrated or skeptical about this Iran MOU. On paper, it looks like a massive compromise. I disagree, but that's fine. $300 billion in unfrozen assets, a fixed schedule to lift sanctions, immediate oil export waivers for Tehran. But what were we expecting when on one side, Trump's facing an apocalyptic regime wants the world to burn, on the other, an American public that has no stomach for war? What I like about this is that even though I disagree with some of his framing here, I absolutely agree with his point. And that is this. Trump also has to play politics here because we need long-term change, not short-term gain. And you have to play the game, folks. There's much more going on here. There's a much bigger end game in sight than just knocking out Iran. And as Glenn says, he played the cards on the table. I'm sick and tired of the politicians and podcasters who bitch and complain no matter what Trump does. They scream the war has to stop, but the second he stops it, they turn around and yell, what kind of deal is this? If the goal is to actually end Iran's regime, history shows there's only one model that works. Total World War II style defeat, occupation, denazification, which was never going to happen. See, the way our country runs, that would end up being much worse long term. That requires American boots on the ground, Iranian people ready to build a free country from the rubble. But no one wants boots on the ground, including myself. At least he's honest, saying that we can't do that right now. Is this MOU what Trump wanted? He says, I doubt it, but he did exactly what a leader of a republic should do. He listened to the people and found a way to end this. A dictator would have kept on going. At the end of the day, a president can only go so far as the people who carry him. Right now, our appetite for war stops at the gas pump. But what he said right here is important. We're a democratic republic, folks. The people get a say. And thanks to the globalist City of London getting us mired in war for decades, that stuff that ended up going nowhere, we only have so many options. And occupation wasn't one of them. Now, where I disagree with Glenn is that we even needed it, because I actually think this will end up a lot better than Glenn believes. And But I do agree that it was probably the only way without going in and taking over. But guys, we've already shown that doesn't work. We actually didn't occupy Germany the way he's talking about. Not the same way we went into Iraq and Afghanistan. It was different. We were also dealing with a different culture. See, there's only one way Iran gets fixed completely the way everybody wants, and it has little to do with us. What we did was weaken their regime. We weakened the economy. We set a stage, but ultimately only the people can come back. See, the difference is in Germany, the people, this European culture that had Christian roots, they chose Adolf Hitler out of desperation. And yes, there's a lot else going on there, but let's just stick to the framing. They voted him in. That was the people's choice. Then things got really bad. We took them out and they rebuilt from a similar culture. They reintegrated into that European culture over time. We helped them get there with the Marshall Plan and other factors. This is not the same beast. This is a dictatorship. This is a regime that has overpowered its people. And you cannot go in there and just give it back to the people when they're not ready to take it themselves. So where I disagree with Glenn is that occupation would not have won here. The only way to win is for long term is for the people to rise up. And what I think Trump just did, he set the stage for this because he's going to force them to reintegrate, which is going to force them to moderate. And as the IRGC gets weaker and weaker because they're the military muscle and Trump just took that out, the people actually have a shot to take their country back. And so Glenn's right, though. This is as good as it could get. This is as good as it could get. Now, the people of America agree. Right now, the latest first poll on this, 56% approval, which you'll say, well, that's high, but it's not that high. And I would agree with you. But this is what matters. Only 13% disapprove. That means there's a bunch of people in the middle. But only 13% are like, why'd you end this? The immediate reaction is, this is good. And if you guys want real lasting change, we have to have the people behind the president. He can't do it by himself. Why do you think so much more has happened in the second term than the first term? Because the people wanted much more from Trump in the second term. They were ready for it. Because the Biden years reminded us how sucky the whole globalist left-wing communist agenda is. The people are behind this, and that will let Trump and empower Trump to do much more going forward. If Iran messes around, we're ready for it. And if we have to get much tougher, well, I got to tell you something. We need to win the midterms. We win that midterms, Trump has then 2 years with no longer having to worry about being on the ticket to go and absolutely destroy whatever else needs to be destroyed. You have to play these games, guys. And I'm sorry, but we do live in a political world, not just a you get to do what you want to world, not a everything works out world if you just keep going. That's not how it works. So Trump wheeling and dealing is the best way, and the American people are already responding to it. Now, with Iran already making all this happen, with already capitulating, allowing us to go in, look at their nuclear dust, go in and inspect their program, with Iran already starting to play ball in many areas, Trump getting it to slow things down. His approval is going to be shooting up here. Gas prices going down. We are clearly winning for America, no matter how you slice it right now. And the globalists are losing. Well, amidst all this, Ukraine, we covered the attack on Russia yesterday, but now Putin is coming out. Zelensky is coming out and with a little message to Putin. Last night, our long-range sanctions once again reached Moscow region for the second time this week. Our oil refinery was hit. Targets were struck. This is a fully justified response to Russian attacks on our cities and communities. Another important result of our warriors' work, blah, 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 propaganda. But then he ends by saying, in recent days, all of our partners have noted precision effectiveness of our mid-range strikes. It is time the war ended and Russia may take the necessary steps in diplomacy. Now, I don't trust Zelensky. The guy's a snake. He's a complete and total puppet of City of London. But what's interesting is the wording of it's time to end the war. This we haven't heard before. Do you think it's any coincidence that he's saying this right after the G7, where Trump turned his back on him? Now, Russia, obviously, after this, they can't surrender. And so we're back into the game. We're back into the game. But I do believe, because Russia already vowing massive group strikes on Ukraine, which they kind of have to, because otherwise if Putin just surrenders, that's going to look terrible for him. Remember, he's got to keep his people on his side. They have to come out winners here in one way, shape, or form. But then again, there is the talk now. Let's end this war. So let's see what happens. But I have a feeling, as I've said before, now that the Iran thing is finished, Trump is going to put some major focus on ending this. The escalation right now might be a tell, just like we escalated right before we ended Iran. So let's watch and see what goes down here. But this is part of the new world order that Trump, and I know many people don't like that phrase, but I'm actually using it in a positive way, because the current world order we were in was that new world order they wanted, the evil one. This new world order, maybe I should call it the new world order, is the one Trump's putting into effect with the sovereign nations breaking up the globalists. And this is a big one right here. This is the next big thing, foreign policy wise, that needs to end. And this is where they're going to dig in tooth and claw to not let it happen. But I have a lot of faith that Trump will pull it off. And speaking of world, I mean, we're already getting, remember Cuba? Trump was like, we'll swing by Cuba on the way back. Well, Cuba's Communist Party just announced that it's going to do free market reforms in an unprecedented move to open the economy. That's interesting. Why? Is it possible the government there is shifting just like the Venezuela government? Remember we put out the indictment of Raul Castro to open up the door to pull him out of there, just like we did with Maduro? That's very interesting. Is Trump going to get Cuba completely reformed and changed without even a military action? I don't know, but this is a big tell right here that's heading in the right direction. Oh, and then we got this. South Korea's president is coming out saying the time has come to turn attention to North Korea's nuclear program. Huh. What's going on there? Remove North Korea's leverage with their nuke program? That's interesting. Funny how all these stories are coming out right as the Iran conflict ended. It's almost like Trump has finished this big bad thing and now is going to move on to some of the smaller, easier to clean up issues. We'll see. We'll see. But I did not expect that. That shocked me when this came out this morning. And then now Trump's going to Camp David this weekend. Why do you go to Camp David? You go with all your people. You know, yeah, you can vacation there, sure, but that Trump vacation is at Mar-a-Lago. Now he goes to Camp David to war game. What's the war game going to be? Very, very interesting. Can you see though all the chess pieces moving around right now? It's pretty clear that Iran had to be finished so that the rest could open up. And I think we're going to see a lot of action, not military. I don't think we're going to see much more military action from Trump. I think he's done what he needed to do for the most part. And hopefully there's not much more, if any. But I do think we're about to see a lot of foreign policy moves. And I think they're going to be very interesting and good for us. And amidst all this, you know, just remember, as Trump always says, like it's not over till it's, well, he says it's not good till the end. If it's not, how does he say that? I'm totally screwed that up. He says it's always going to work out in the end. So if it's not good yet, it's not the end. That's what he says. And I tend to agree with him. I feel very excited about where we're headed. And if nothing else, it's pretty clear to me when you consider the timing. Do you know how hard it is to time a treaty coming out of a conflict? For him to time it on his birthday, or him to time it on the UFC event? I think it's very clear that Trump's in far much more control of this whole situation, his administration is, than anybody wants you to know. And that's another reason why so many people are mad about where we're at. It's a hot summer, guys. It's about to get a whole lot hotter, but in a good way. In a good way. Because the American people are very happy with where this is headed, which means he's just going to have more and more leverage going forward. I'm excited, and City of London is very, very upset right now. All right, guys, hit that like and subscribe. We got a lot to talk about still as moving on to the next segment where we got to get into Israel because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in Israel. But before we do, let me catch up with what's going on in the Chizat. I do see a couple super chats. I got Nick Majors with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, friend. He says, Trump is the boss. As he said it himself, I'm the boss. We have M. Remington with a $10 super chat. Says, Iran gave us the model of overthrowing the regime. They fund Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis. We have the model. All we need to do is fund and arm the Iranian people to regime change. I think that's very possible. Absolutely. What else? I see a couple tags here. Sniped Your Head says, thoughts on Cuba. They may be next. He's already warning them, so maybe they're negotiating deals. Well, I think I just covered that. But yeah, I do think Cuba, I think by the end of this summer, Cuba is going to be in a totally different place, just like Venezuela. I really do. So, Violence Poetry asks, how much of not putting out the language of the deal is just the White House suckering people and reporting rumors about the deal and making themselves look foolish? Well, the Trump administration has a long history of doing exactly that, sucking people in and rug pulling them. So I would say there's probably definitely an aspect of that happened. Let's see. Blue Collar says, if you're going to give Iran a chance to change their ways, this would be the time. Trump has 2 years left to deal with them accordingly. Excellent point. I completely agree with you. Kev the Tech says, exactly. I'm sick and tired of people predicting crap when they have no idea what's really going on. It's so annoying. Wait and see what happens. 100%. 100%. Completely agree. What else here? Leonard says, regarding Iran, I've learned to wait and let things settle before jumping to a bunch of conclusions. You mean like a jump to conclusions, Matt? You guys know what that's from. One of the best comedies ever. I like how Trump is dismantling the globalists, so I think I could trust Trump on this. I agree. 100% agree. Yep. Jay Tyrus says, 30,000 foot view, Dave X22, 40,000 foot view. Reminds me of Trump 4D chess one person, Trump 5D chess the other. Well, we all have our ways of communicating, right? I love it. Sav Smile says, Iran, it's based on 1,400 years. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not true at all. Iran before was Persian. It's not based on 1,400 years. That's just not true, Stabs. See, you're believing the narrative. And I get that it's like the Islamic factor, sure. But see, this is where you'd be proven wrong. Because Saudi Arabia is Islamic. Jordan's Islamic. Egypt, they're all at peace with Israel right now, aren't they? So if you're just picking on Islam, I get it, because there's definitely things to pick on, and there's definitely bad histories there. But to say that 1,400 years is static for every Islamic nation, you're just wrong. You're just completely wrong there. And Trump's already proven that. I don't know, Sean. Am I calling you stupid? Why are you asking? I don't know. What did you say? I'll tell you if it's stupid or not. Let's see here. All right. I think that's it. Anything else new? Lobo says, do I happen to think the Rape King stuff might be the true Epstein legacy with the connections to UK royal family? Oh, my light just burned out. That's awesome. Okay. I'm going to have to open up my window to get some lighting in here. Let me tell you about TPS reports. There you go, Dan. You named it. Perfect. The deal is not off. No, deal's not off. All right, let me go fix my light real quick because I don't have a backup bulb at the second, and I'll be right back. Smokehouse with the $5 super chat says Trump now has respect. All he needs to do is remark a small threat to any country, and they'll do its best. He's shown courage. I mean, it's worked with a lot of them, hasn't it? Yeah. Let me come back to you guys. All right. Going to be dealing with the natural light today. Hopefully it holds. Listen, I'm a Christian. I know the history of Islam. Okay. And I do know how awful it can be and nations can be with Islam. But I also have seen how some Islamic nations completely moderate when they get westernized, when they get wealthy. And that's just a fact. And it doesn't mean they're great. Doesn't mean you have to live there. But it does mean that as sovereign nations, we may be able to coexist peacefully with them if they keep their stuff over there. That's been shown. I mean, look at Turkey. I don't like Turkey. I don't like the Turks. And their way of doing things and their laws, their practices. But they're in NATO, and we haven't had issues with the Turks in a long time since they've been moderated. I'm just saying, like, you guys, this whole idea that you just need to, like, you have to understand, like, we're not going to be able to change the whole world by bombing it. And Trump's showing us that other way. So, I understand why you guys are fearful. I understand why you're concerned, all of that. But I can also point to examples that show that your points are not always 100% true. They don't hold up in every single situation. You understand? So, yeah, the Turks' Ottoman Empire was brutal, Savs, but is it doing that to other nations now? That's my point. We keep them in their borders now. That's what we're doing. I wasn't defending the Ottoman Empire. See, that's where you guys don't understand. And that's what I think you're missing here. Trump is a president of a nation, not the world. Okay. If you want all Islam taken out, well, you're going to be waiting for Jesus to come back. If you want, all whatever, pick a religion, Hinduism, Buddhism, and I get the history, but what can happen in Iran is the same thing that happened in Turkey, the same thing that happened in Saudi Arabia, the same thing that happened in numerous other states, UAE. That's what can happen. And Trump understands that. And apparently you don't. Okay? You don't. Irrationally based, where's Turkey just attacking other nations on the regular right now? That's the moderation I'm talking about. I'm not talking about within their own borders. That's not my job to fix. Do you understand? That's not Trump's job to fix what's going on within their borders. That's different. And that's what you guys, you're stuck on that as if it's our job to police these nations in their own borders. No, that's not it. But what we can do is, it's just like China. I don't like communism. I hate communism. I hate what they do to their people. But do you think we're going to bomb China into submission? No. But what we can is keep them to their own borders. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. And that's what Trump is talking about. That's what Trump's fixing. And so everybody thinking like we're just going to bomb Iran into submission. Well, we kind of already did that, didn't we? And the people didn't rise up. So we have to deal with them as is. So, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So I hope that makes sense, but, that's also why I disagree with your guys' arguments that Trump shouldn't have even tried this. I think that's dumb. I really do. I think you have to try and you have to see. And, you'd have to be crazy to think that anything we do is going to create peace for the rest of eternity. That's just not going to happen. But could Could we set the stage for peace for 100 years? Peace for 300 years? Yeah, it's possible. Like, better things are possible. Utopia is not, but a better world is. So, Savs, Trump did not tell them to stay home. That's just fundamentally wrong. He only told them to stay in while we were bombing. We tried to get them weapons. And then Trump, at the very beginning of the whole operation, said, rise up, now's your time. And then they didn't. And I get it. They're terrified. They just lost 40,000 of their own a few months ago. That's terrifying. I feel for the Iranian people. I really do. But Levitra says, why did Trump ruin the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool? I thought he was going to drain the swamp. I see you, Levitra. For you guys who don't know, that's my best friend since first grade. He's trolling me. He's allowed to troll because we go way back. 30. What are we at now? Is this, we're now, this year is 36 years of friendship. Yeah, 36 years of friendship this fall. It's my longest friend, man. Doc knows says, get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. That's, yeah, 100%. That's what Trump's doing. Some new. Monica says, people in Iran got the leader they wanted. They went through several. It's like going from Biden to Trump there. They have little hope, a little hope. Yeah. And we'll see. We'll see. Thank you, John. I appreciate you for saying that. He says I'm speaking wisdom. I know not all you agree, but I appreciate some saying that. Okay. You guys ready? We're going to get into Israel now. And I'm going to tell you, there's some people who are going to be mad on this next segment. And that's going to happen. Carnivore King, though, first sent some sunshine and number one, some chili. Toe Cramp sent number one dad. I'll take it. Sparkles and chili. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your little jewels sending little gifts. No, I've known him since I was 7 years old. So, yeah, and I'll be 43 in the fall, which is when we met first grade. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's get to it. Again, this is going to be one of those segments. I know there's going to be angry people, especially the Zionist types. They're going to be mad. But I got to tell you, before we go into this segment, because I got new people here. By the way, if you guys don't mind, hit that like, that subscribe. If you enjoy what I do here, if you appreciate the work, you can support the channel by becoming a member. Go in the description, click that link to Patreon. My gift is a free month, so you can try it out. It's the way you can get a part of the Discord group. You can check out the members' lives, and you can see if it's a place you want to stay and hang out. And if you do, you can support the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. So, let's see. Did I address Smokehouse's super chat? I did. Yeah, thanks, Smokehouse. I don't know why I didn't think I addressed that. So, okay, but before I get in this, for the new people, you got to understand that we have, there's two ways. If you're online, it acts like, it's like there is, it's like there's only two sides to think about Israel. And those two sides are Israel's the devil, and the other side is Israel can do no wrong. They're, the super hardcore Zionist camp that because Israel has to defend itself and because they're the chosen people of God, we just have to support them no matter what they do and almost turn a blind eye to anything bad they do. Those are like the two polar opposites that you get online most of the time. And the actual truth is in the middle. Israel was created by City of London. Mossad and all that was created by MI6 and trained by MI6. They have major City of London assets in Israel. They've been controlled in many ways. They deserve to be a country. The people deserve to be a country. The people are not evil. The Jews are not evil people. Okay? Some Jews have committed atrocities just like some and almost every other people and creed. That's all true. And we have to be honest about that. We also have to be honest about the fact that they do deserve to defend themselves. And that's their right. But we also have to look at the fact that they sometimes go overboard, often go overboard. And they maybe have reasons why they think they need to. But we have the ability to call that out. And where we're at right now is Trump is trying to do something much bigger that will ultimately benefit the good people of Israel. And Israel seems to be stuck in the old way of thinking. And so I want to frame that before I go in, okay, to this, because the people who like just think Israel's perfect no matter what, and the Jews are these perfect people because, you know, God's chosen, they are, it's, Jay says he doesn't mess with Genesis 12:3. Well, you do actually, because you know what Jesus said, Jay? Jesus said, not everyone who is of Israel is Israel. Do you know that? Have you read Romans lately? That's just, you know, Paul tells us that being Israel has nothing to do with your DNA. I'm sorry, that's in Romans. And it's very clear. And even Jesus said it to them, like when they were like, we're children of Abraham, he said, no, you're the children of the devil, when the Pharisees were debating with him. So this whole idea that like the Jews are great because of their DNA is just wrong. It's just wrong. And it's not even biblical. It's not even biblical. So don't take out, you remember the New Testament trumps the Old Testament. The new covenant, Jesus taught us how to understand the old covenant. And the truth is that it's very clear that children of Abraham is because of faith, not because of DNA. Both Jesus and Paul tell us that. Okay. So yes, bless Israel. You know the Israel they're talking about, Jay? It's the people of faith. It's Christ followers. It's not the Jews. I'm sorry. It's just not. And that's the Bible. And if you guys want to understand that, you can go in my membership, and I've done an entire show on this, breaking down the biblical way to understand Israel. That was my last members live. Go watch it. I teach the whole thing. I give every verse that matters, that teaches us in the New Testament how to understand Genesis 12:3. And guess what? It doesn't have anything to do with DNA. Sorry, Jay. You need to read your Bible. You need to read your New Testament. And I love you, Jay. You're here. You're great, man. You're a big part of this. But it never says the Jews. It says Israel. And Paul says, not all who are Israel are Israel. He says it's faith that makes you Israel. So, but I'm telling you, go read your New Testament. Don't just cherry pick Old Testament verses. Okay. You got to read the New Testament to understand it. So that's my framing, and that's how I approach all this. So I believe Israel deserves to be a country. I believe the Jews can have their country. Okay. I do. But I also don't believe they are not chosen. I don't believe they're special. I believe they're people like me and you, and they should be criticized and lauded as such. Okay? So we're grafted into the faith, the origination of the faith, not the DNA, Savs. Go read your Bible. I'm telling you guys. You guys, listen, everybody who makes this argument completely ignores the parts that disprove the point they're making. They cherry pick the verses they like, and they ignore the ones that prove them wrong. I'm sorry. It's true. It's true. So, all right, Daniel, you want to play that game? You can be gone forever. Goodbye. Dipshit. Jeez Louise. That guy was angry. All right, let's get into it. In the last couple days since the Iran deal has gone down, Israel has expressed how angry it is about this deal. And the Trump administration has pulled no punches in arguing back. And so this is an interesting time to look at what is happening with all this. What is the Trump administration actually doing? Because remember, everybody's like, Trump's controlled by Israel. Well, now that's pretty clear it's not. And so the question is, what is Israel doing in this? And what is Trump trying to navigate in all this? And so this news came out of Israel from Ben Gvir, who is National Security Ministry. All of Lebanon must burn. For every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. All of Lebanon must burn. With all due respect to Americans, Israel must make it clear to the entire world the blood of our sons and security of our citizens are not forfeit. All of Lebanon must burn. Our supreme duty is to protect the citizens of Israel and the soldiers of IDF, and this commitment takes precedence over every other consideration. I told the Prime Minister, even in our private meetings, for every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. Enough with the ping pong. In the Middle East, you don't want to measure responses to restraint. You need to go berserk, obliterate, crush the terror. Guys, can I just go out and say that this is pure evil? Sorry, that hurts your feelings, but this is pure evil. And I don't care. Does Israel have a right to defend itself? Yeah. Does it have a right to go after 1,000 people for every one? No, that's called revenge, and that's evil. That's pure evil. This idea that you burn down an entire country because they have a terrorist cell that keeps attacking you, that's evil. And I'm sorry, we got to call a spade a spade. This is where it becomes pretty clear, like, there are some serious issues in Israel right now in their leadership. All right. This whole idea of even Lebanon, all of Lebanon must burn, because you can't say stuff like this and think we're going to take you seriously and be on your side. I'm sorry. And I'm not anti-Israel. In fact, I often get called a Zionist because I think the whole anti-Israel people are crazy. I really do. I think it's evil to be anti-Semitic. I think it's evil to say Israel, everything they do is wrong. I think that's all wrong too. But we got to paint the full picture here. Now, with all this going on, as the Trump administration's putting stuff on them, well, we're having some pushback within Israel itself. And this goes to prove that Israel itself is not these bloodthirsty people. It's not this nonstop wanting to stay in war. Israel is a country of people itself that have disagreements, that fight amongst themselves. And it says, Yair Lapid came out and said, in the past day, U.S. Vice President got angry at a press conference over Smotrich and Ben-Gvir. That was the Ben-Gvir post I just read you. Foreign Ministry Saar cut ties with the European Union's foreign minister, and Trump said Netanyahu is showing irresponsibility in Lebanon. If we don't quickly replace this government, Israel's foreign relations will be wiped out. So now, see, what's happening in Israel is they're having their own come to Jesus moment, just like we did in our elections between Trump and the deep state. And what Trump and J.D. Vance are criticizing is this deep state motive in Israel, this war at all times motive, because that's not going to help anything. And what Trump's trying to do is end all this. He's trying to bring sanity back to the Middle East. And yes, there's a faction in Israel that's going to have to be dealt with in order to do so. And thankfully, in my opinion, our vice president and president aren't afraid to say so. Here's what J.D. Vance had to say. By the way, this is all within the framing of the fact that Israel and Hezbollah got into it again today. And they got into it over Hezbollah attacked, and then Israel retaliated more so. Just like that Ben-Gvir post, 1,000 to 1. That's their mindset, which isn't going to work, especially with what we're trying to accomplish in Iran. And here's JD talking about it.
Now, I saw the Axios report, that Netanyahu is fuming. That's not reflective of the conversations that I've had with him, but maybe he's saying something to somebody else that he's not saying to me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you have seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal, and in some ways very personally attacked the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time.
Did you hear that? That's important to remember. This is the Trump administration communicating to Israel, we want to help you. We want to figure this out, but you have to play our game. We're in charge. We have the big stick. We will protect you. We will get you to a good place. Stop trying to screw it up. Now ask yourself, who actually wants to screw all this up? The same globalist, deep state, Davos, City of London crowd that got us here in the first place, because things are ramping up. and they are getting weaker and weaker. So they're pulling out all assets. And I truly believe that they're triggering whoever in Israel they can to push this to new boundaries and blow up what Trump's trying to do with Iran in the Middle East.
And he happens to be the head of state of the world's superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world. And the second message I would give to some of those cabinet members, Bibi, to his credit, has not gone down this path, but to some of these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars.
So here, this is a very important point. And what JD has just now said is basically a warning. You guys only can defend yourselves because of us. So what the hell are you doing not trusting us in this? We are your only hope. You better play the game we are playing. You better adhere to the direction we're taking this. You don't have another choice. That's them laying it down. Why be so rough with one of our allies? Because there's a faction of Israel that doesn't want this all to work out, as we just saw.
The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the President of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. Thank you all.
Very powerful words. Okay. And again, I'm going to always throw it in here. Anybody who thinks J.D. Vance is not tough or a pushover or not MAGA, come on. Like, seriously, are we still going to play this game? Here's JD breaking down a little bit more, though, on what's going on in Israel.
There is another country in the Middle East that thinks of itself as having a very intimate knowledge of the Iranian regime.
Yeah.
Not just the Gulf states, that's Israel. I don't think this deal is popular in Israel right now. I don't think you're an especially popular figure in Israel today. We'll see where things are in 6 months. And one perception I think that people have after watching this war unfold is that there is a certain misalignment maybe between the kind of pragmatic American interests that you just described the president having and the more existential sense of the stakes that Israel has. And one key criticism of the Obama deal from people in the Republican Party, people in Israel, elsewhere, was always that it was focused on the nuclear program and wasn't focused on Iranian proxies, their support for terrorism around the Middle East, their support for Hezbollah and Hamas. So I'm just curious, do you think there's a misalignment between the U.S. and Israel? Do you think Israel has incentives to not want this deal to continue? And is there a vision for how you get to a point where Iranian support for Hezbollah isn't sending rockets?
Can I just say this is the longest question I've ever heard just to get to the point? I mean, come on. Does this guy like to hear himself talk or what? Let the man answer.
Into Israel on the regular.
Well, what I'd say here is that it's clear that large segments of the Israeli political system and population are very sensitive about this deal. But I also think they're picking up on some misinformation about the deal and running with it and sort of panicking about it. And I fundamentally believe this deal will be good for the entire region and for the world. That includes, of course, the Israelis. Now, I think it's important to say that while I do believe that this deal will be good for the entire world, fundamentally, we're worried about what's in the best interest of the American people. And to the extent that, and I think the president has shown this, where he sees misalignment between the goals of the political system in Israel and the goals of the American people, he's willing to say that we're going to pursue America's interests where there are divergences.
Did you hear what he said there? This is important. Okay. Language is very important in politics. He said the political system in Israel. That he specifically said that instead of the Israelis, Israel's a nation, the political system. It's interesting. And it's important to remember that as he keeps talking.
So there are certainly going to be disagreements from time to time. I think that's normal. I will say, I don't know, maybe I've missed this. I don't think Bibi himself has actually criticized the deal, because I think he's maybe a little bit more familiar with the details of what's in it. But yeah, you've seen people in their system, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, who've attacked the deal. And I guess my response to them would be, what is your exact proposal? And, you're a country of 9 million people. You can't just kill your way out of solving every single national security problem that you have. Look at what we've accomplished. First of all, Americans have protected a lot of Israeli lives through our missile systems and through our missile programs over the last few months. We have destroyed their nuclear program. We have got the Iranians in a point where they're offering things, again, whether they'll actually act on them, we'll see, but they're offering things that would have been the stuff of dreams even 6 months ago.
Yep.
So let us play this negotiation out. Let us see if the Iranian actions actually meet the Iranian words, and give a little bit of credit to the United States of America, which I think has been an incredible partner for the Israeli government for a long time.
How do you argue with that? I mean, honestly, I just don't understand how there's any logical argument about what he just said. We've set the stage for you to give it a chance. We protected you. You cannot get what you want just by destroying everybody. There's literally no argument against what he just said. Now, your emotions might not like it because you don't want this to happen. You don't like the deal, whatever. But fundamentally, what he just said, there's no logical argument against it unless you just want to kill people. It's just, it's just a fact. Because Israel, people are forgetting, and thank God for JD and Trump reminding everybody that Israel can't do this without us. So get in line. Play the game we're playing, because this is a game. This is an end game we're building towards to win something much bigger, something that will bring peace, but something much bigger than just what you want. But it will still get you what you want too. And Trump, also, he's got an upcoming interview, but here's a clip they've released of what's upcoming, also on Israel. And you can see where Trump and JD are completely aligned.
If it weren't for Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu worked well with me, but he will tell you, we're the ones with the guns, we're the ones with the whole deal, we're the ones with the B-2 bombers, etc. If it weren't for Donald Trump, Israel would have been eviscerated.
Your relationship with Netanyahu's...
It's good, but we have to keep him a little bit sane.
Are you going to be able to control Israel from attacking Lebanon?
Yeah, I will be. I mean, I wonder. They have a lot of respect for me, and they do as I say.
Wow. So, what I think Trump's talking to, okay, is that there is still that system in Israel, the Ben-Gvir types, who I would say are probably City of London attached, because what they're doing is ultimately really bad for Israel. They can't see beyond where they're at, okay? Which is this whole idea of, 1,000 Lebanese for every one Israeli. That's crazy talk. Because again, fine. What if you blow up Lebanon? Well, guess what happens next? The international community destroys you. Okay. And everybody who's got a hint of sanity understands that. So we are the only reason Israel exists. We are the only reason, still exists. We're the only reason Israel is protected, that terrorists haven't just been able to run free on it. And Trump talking very clearly here about, differentiating the political system versus Israel itself, who they can work with. And this tells me that, they're building up and they're working towards weeding out that deep state version of Israel, weeding it out so that Israel itself can actually, just like Trump said, start thinking and approaching things sanely. And this is going to be very helpful going forward, and also bring us what we want. And this is very interesting. So for those who Iran can't change, well, here's another aspect that things might be shifting, because the Hezbollah, Israel, we're getting into it this morning. And last night they were starting to heat up again, which was going to be very bad for the Middle East stability, for our deal with Iran. But then a ceasefire was negotiated, and here's some of the details being reported.
Hey, good morning. Well, this latest ceasefire kicked in just about an hour ago. A U.S. official says it was brokered by Qatar, the United States, and with help from Iran. Now, it's important to note that this is not a retreat for Israel from these established security zones in southern Lebanon. And the IDF says that they have every right to defend themselves. And this comes on the heel of heightened fighting in southern Lebanon. Overnight, the IDF reported 4 soldiers were killed and dozens of Hezbollah fighters died. Lebanon reported 21 people were killed. This latest fighting follows an escalation in southern Lebanon after an Israeli airstrike hit Beirut right. Hey, good morning. Well, this latest ceasefire.
Okay, so listen, this was the one part.
Kicked in just about an hour ago. A U.S. official says it was brokered by Qatar, the United States, and with help.
They brokered the ceasefire with help from Iran. Isn't that interesting? Now, again, nobody's pretending that IRGC is good. No one's pretending that the IRGC necessarily even wants peace. But we have to deal with what we can see, and we have to deal with actions that speak louder than words. If they're crediting Iran at all for showing up to the table to help broker a ceasefire, even if that meant they just told Hezbollah to stand down, that's a difference, folks. That's a difference. And the question is whether these differences will last, whether they'll grow, or if they'll go back. At this point, we don't know. Because I do believe the IRGC is run by a bunch of crazy people. I believe they're City of London assets, or at least they were established that way. But here's the thing. Human beings tend to shift when they're forced with crazy circumstances. And the IRGC, what's left of them, is looking at the fact that they have no money to pay their soldiers, and their soldiers aren't as crazy as the leaders. They're just, they're getting a paycheck. They're faced with the fact that they barely have any military might anymore. It's been mostly taken out by the United States. So you get people who are facing their own death and destruction, the entire bit of their legacy falling apart, maybe not even able to. At this point, I feel like if the Iranian people rose up, it would probably not be that difficult to overturn the government. But it would have to be united, and it would have to be a major push. I'm not saying 10,000 people could do it, but say if 20, 40, 50,000 rose up, that might finally be, they might be weakened enough for it to happen. We don't know the specifics, but I think it could be possible. We're at least closer, right? I don't think that's debatable. Not knowing what we do about their economy, 40 to 50% knocked down GDP, their entire Air Force, Navy obliterated, all their air defense obliterated, nuclear program obliterated. So they're definitely not as strong as they were. So do we trust the IRGC? No, that would be stupid. But situation has changed. They're in a completely different area. Do you allow them a chance? And I think this ceasefire, what just happened, the fact that Iran's even a part of it, the fact that Iran is now letting our inspectors go in, something has shifted. The question is, as JD Vance and Trump have both said as well, we don't know if it'll last, but give it a chance, because we can't go, and Trump will refuse to go, to just bombing everybody. Civilians dying, not acceptable. The whole Ben Gvir, 1,000 to 1 deaths, that's not going to happen. That's not okay. And that will never be seen from President Trump or a President Vance or even a President Rubio if that's what happens. We're not going to do that. So the only other, if we're not going to obliterate them, if we're not going to wipe all of them off the face of the earth, then the other option, and we can't invade them, the American people won't stand for that. So the only other option is give this a chance. And that's what we need to do. And in all this, I do think we're going to see, because I do believe, I'm betting on Trump. I'm betting on Trump, Vance, the team. I'm betting on the shifts going on in Israel and the shifts going on in Iran, that we're going to see some things be much different over the next few months and years. And looking back, we're all going to say, this is pretty incredible what Trump pulled off. That's what I'm betting on. And we'll see if I turn out to be right. Okay, guys, if you don't mind, please hit that like, that subscribe. And next we're going to get into Tulsi Gabbard dropping a bombshell last night on her last night as ODNI, dropping a bombshell on her way out about Anthony Fauci and COVID. So we are going to see where it goes. Big things coming, and I'm excited to get in this next segment because there's a lot of justice aspects that are starting to ramp up, arrests and accountability starting to happen. So I'm excited for this next segment, but I do want to catch up with you guys first because I did see Some super chats come in. Carnivore King with the $2 super chat says, sorry for so many icons. God bless you. Thanks, man. It doesn't bother me at all. You send all you want. D Lynch with the $20 super chat says, Staples is a great read on what Paul meant in Romans 11. Highly recommend. Great work. Keep preaching truth about end times. Thank you, Lynch. I appreciate it. D Lynch. I appreciate that, man. And, I've already come out of one way of thinking into another on my end times theology, my belief systems. And I believe I found the better argument. So I'm not going to be shifting. But thank you very much for that. Let's see. Anybody else with a tag? Looking through here. Aloha Patriot on Rumble says, I love our country, Israelis, Persians, Cubans too. I have a special place in my heart for all people, especially because the Israelis, Persians, and Cubans have suffered. Amen. I mean, and that is true. There's so many people have suffered for so many different reasons. Johnny says, Trump has a lot of leaders considering benefits and consequences. Exactly, which is how you have to game plan, especially when you have the strength that we have. DJ Fusion says, Stephen A. Smith recently said Michelle Obama is very attractive. He's going to have to walk those comments back if the truth comes out. That's hilarious. I love it. That's freaking so funny. That's so funny. Sav says, Israel isn't attacking Lebanon. They're attacking Hezbollah. Most Lebanese don't like or want Hezbollah. I agree with you. Except for there's one thing I think you're leaving out in your analysis. There are civilians that are getting killed when Israel attacks apartment buildings and stuff. And when you have their defense guy, this guy's in their government saying all of Lebanon must burn. It does kind of tell you 1,000 to 1. That does kind of tell you that he doesn't say Hezbollah here, does he? So there is a faction of Israel that is targeting Lebanon, and that's why they don't care if they're hurting other people when they target Hezbollah. Just saying, that's a fact, and that's what Trump and them are calling back. I mean, we have the proof right here. Thank you, Jack Daniels. All right. Carnivore King, Big Mike. Thanks, man. That's so funny, man. You guys are hilarious. I didn't say you agree with them, Savs. I just said you got to be honest in reporting what's happening, because they are being a little too laissez-faire in their strikes. And that's what Trump said. Trump, if you listen to Trump and Vance, they're very specific in what they're being critical of. They are not just criticizing Israel in general. So that's important. And, and that's where we got to separate emotions and actually listen to the thing and see what truth is there. What's up, Big B? It's good to see you, man. Well, I'm glad you still listen, and I'm sorry for changing my show. Now you can't be live with me as much for the nighttime. You're welcome, Savs. Thank you for always being civil and great, despite our disagreements. And listen, guys, that's proof that I don't ban you. I don't cut people out for disagreement. I cut people out for disrespect. Savs and I having this conversation today is proof of that. If you're civil, if you're honorable and respectful, disagreements are welcome. Monica says, if Tulsi can prove Fauci unleashed virus on Wuhan, I say we give him to the Chinese people to deal with properly. That would be great. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? Last night, the last day of Tulsi Gabbard at ODNI, and she did not go out quietly. Last night, Tulsi dropped this video releasing things about Fauci, and we're going to play the whole thing. I'll stop if I need to, but let's listen.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when under oath he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research.
Holy smokes, guys. You hear that? The proof he lied to Congress in 2024. The proof he manipulated the intelligence documents. Whew. This is crazy. This is crazy.
We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins. Once again, revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth. Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence community enabled him to assume three key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded using taxpayer dollars, all of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions.
Do you hear that? That entire narrative came from a bat or came from a pangolin. He created that. This is actually worse than a lot of people believed. So far, what she said, it's going deeper than what a lot of people thought. And people already thought Fauci was guilty.
Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying that he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID. Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony. Now, we received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not. The message was clear: go along or be punished. Senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, The American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized, self-serving leaders like Dr. Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
Whoa. That's huge at the end. Did you hear what she said? She called this a deep state tactic, which is a big deal. And then she said they outright denied the information to Trump so he could make the right decisions. That is crazy, guys. That is crazy. Now, a couple things. A, this is huge. B, I wish we'd gotten a little more from Tulsi before she left because she's officially done. You know, we all wanted the election stuff, but we'll see what happens now that Pulte's in. Pulte's started today. He's in there right now. And he's already asked for names to fire. But Tulsi dropped all this and she dropped files, and this is a good breakdown thread of the files. Okay. So the 4 PDFs show that Fauci funded the very research created COVID-19. And here's a breakdown from these PDFs. Inspector General filed classified whistleblower complaint alleging intelligence contradicted Fauci's testimony. DNA's office effectively buried it. See, this happened on August 19th. This was Biden's DNI. So this is also going against the Biden administration. Crazy. Describing whistleblower complaint alleging classified intelligence reporting contradicted Fauci's sworn testimony to Congress that NIH never funded gain-of-function research. Rather than refer it to HHS Inspector General for independent investigation, Fonzone recommended referring it to HHS Secretary Becerra. Oh, yeah. That's the front runner for California's governor right now, Javier Becerra. Fauci's boss. Oh, this is not going to look good for Becerra going into the election in California. Noting that Becerra told Haynes it was something they considered. Whoops. Where is it? I lost it. And at Fauci at a point, he's repeated draft letter was revised to route the complaint to Becerra instead of HHS IG. Previously classified paper trail showing the Biden era DNI's office treating a formal whistleblower complaint as essentially a bureaucratic matter. FBI likely gave false information to Congress about key COVID origins interview and classified September 2024 readout of a briefing ODNI lead briefer flag when Rep. Wenstrup asked the FBI briefer point blank whether they interviewed a specific individual about COVID origins. FBI said yes, and the information informed FBI's assessment. The internal email states bluntly, IC's own records show this individual was not interviewed by FBI until late June 2021, 3 months after FBI made its origins call. All under the Biden administration, all cover up. Wild. Fauci steered the IC toward natural origin scientists. On June 4th, CIA's Weapon and Counterproliferation Mission Center briefed Fauci on classified COVID origins intelligence for the president's daily brief. Previously classified readout shows Fauci directed CIA to connect with specific scientists, described as individuals who advocate for features of the virus they judge to be consistent with natural origin. He was briefed on IC's classified analysis while simultaneously recommending the IC consult experts who support his conclusion. He did not appear to be aware of certain specific about the pangolin research that the CIA uncovered. The intel agencies, man, they're all in on this. All in on this. It's crazy. CIA senior official confirmed he personally stopped analysts from shifting to lab leak finding. FBI, CIA, Fauci, all deep state. This is wild. This is wild. Same September 24th, HPS CIA briefing. When Wenstrup asked CIA about reports of their analysts shift from lab to undecided, senior official jumped in and explained he personally made the call to stop the shift to a lab leak assessment because new information arrived the day before they were ready to publish. This was their response. Pre-pandemic DOE warning to NIAID about WIV, which IC officials didn't know about. Internal IC officials from November 23 responding to Vanity Fair article showed and ODNI officials asking DOE whether it was true that in mid-2019, Energy Secretary Dan Brouillette warned that the coronavirus research U.S. was funding risked being misappropriated for military purposes. So the Department of Energy was warning them, what Fauci was in charge of, that it could be used for military purposes. ODNI analysts writing query notes, to the best of my knowledge, nobody was worried about that in mid-2019. Second claim, Brouillette told Fauci in October 2020, DOE scientists had found evidence pandemic originated at Wuhan. Also prompted the analyst to write, it was inconsistent with everything I've seen from DOE. Man, this is just crazy stuff. CIA was 2/3 in the lab leak camp. Internal classified email from ODNI analysts preparing for briefings flags. According to lead majority staffer, DNI herself told Rep. Wenstrup that CIA was 2/3 in the lab leak camp. Analysts were being held back by the remaining third. So 2/3 of the CIA were saying it was a lab leak. And then the people in charge, the analysts, were pushing them back so that they couldn't speak on it. What a crazy cover-up. Early IC analysts acknowledged the furin cleavage site looked like gain of function, then urged caution. March 2020 internal emails, now declassified, show analysts at the State Department's Bureau of Intelligence Research and elsewhere candidly writing the virus's furin cleavage site was consistent with GOF modification, gain of function, while urging caution before making that assessment. One analyst wrote, I can't imagine the Chinese not doing this type of research, but an escaped P3, P4 laboratory-acquired infection would be extraordinary. Those emails show IC was privately entertaining lab leak hypothesis from the very beginning, even as a public narrative treated as conspiracy theory. Wow. This is crazy stuff, and I imagine there's more that's going to be coming out as these documents are gone through. This is damning. This is damning evidence. So the question is, what can they do with Fauci? Now, Fauci lying to Congress is a big deal under oath. If he's pre-pardoned by Biden, first of all, this might push the pre-pardoning to be seen by Supreme Court and could be overturned. That's number one. Number two, there are crimes in here that I'm pretty sure he wasn't pardoned for. So I don't see how Fauci doesn't get in trouble after this. They've already indicted a lot of his people. They just haven't gone after him yet. So we got to let the process play out and see how this goes. But man, this is so crazy. And props to Tulsi for releasing all this. Now, things are definitely heating up in this whole justice arena of accountability. Because look at what John Solomon, who's been really reporting closely a lot of this intelligence stuff coming out, a lot of this classified evidence, declassified evidence. He is now temporarily stepping aside as his role in editor-in-chief to assist the government in identifying classified or withheld documents concerning weaponization and election integrity. What?
One programming note. I want to make sure everybody on this show is aware of it. I put it as a disclaimer on all my shows. I mentioned it on my podcast today. For the next couple of months, I'm working as an unpaid government employee to help the government identify documents that can be released to the public. It's your information, after all. Bureaucrats keep us from it. I have an opportunity to help the government identify some documents, some secrets, and things you should know about when it comes to weaponization, election integrity, other things. We're going to work on that. But during that time, I just want you to know, I've stepped aside as the editor-in-chief of Just the News. I still do my reporting. We're still going to do the amazing show here with Amanda. But I want everybody to know that I'm doing this. I'm unpaid. I don't take any money from the government. I think it's a good role for a journalist to play, getting more information out. But I want you to know personally.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So you better believe, guys, this is going to be one of the big drops coming up, the election stuff. They recruited Solomon. I mean, I love how the Trump administration works, guys. You gotta love, whether you like them or not, Trump or not, you gotta love how they do stuff. This is huge. Solomon's been one of the ones really reporting this stuff legitimately, really doing the hard work. And for them to bring him in to see all the election documents and you know what this is also going to help is Solomon, being a longtime reporter, He's going to know exactly the way to frame this stuff, how to get it out there for the most impact. This is going to be big. And he said for a few months, you know what they're going to do? I have a feeling we're going to get bombs dropped about the election stuff. And weaponization, by the way, that's the going after Trump, Russiagate, and all the going after the lawsuits. This is going to be dropped before midterms. I bet you we start getting this stuff in September and October for maximum impact. That's exciting. That's very exciting. Now, as I said earlier, Pulte's in. Pulte just came in today, and they are freaking out about him, as we've seen. And Trump, remember, earlier this week, dropped the ultimatum. You guys want to get rid of Pulte? Fine. Pass all my people, but also get me the Save America Act tied to FISA. Boom. Drop the mic. And as of today, Pulte's in, and the plans are fire hundreds of staff. In fact, when he first got in, apparently the first thing he asked for was the listing of all the staff. Hundreds of names. Pulte, man, he brought him in to be the bull in the china shop, and it's starting today. Oh, man, this is exciting. Now, X22 Report posted this, what I thought was really good for all the people waiting on arrest and frustrated. He says, you could arrest Obama and Hillary tomorrow. You could release the Epstein files. You could shut down the DOJ. But if their system still operates outside the United States, in Iran, Venezuela, Ukraine, through the cartels, through NGOs, through central bank, it all comes right back. He's right about this. That's why Trump's doing this globally. That's why it's taken this long. You can't bring the whole system down and leave pieces standing. You dismantle all of it, every piece, until there's nowhere left to hide, and that time is coming. Yeah, you think so? I think so. I think Tulsi leaving, Pulte going in, the bombs we already got from Tulsi, John Solomon going there, that's pretty clear. The time is coming, and Iran is over. Notice how this all happened right as Iran ends. Now look at this. This is very interesting. Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, and Tim Burchett all on the same day. These are big people. Burchett, big player in Congress. Pete Hegseth, Department of War. Tulsi Gabbard, her last day as ODNI. All right on the same day. It's time. Tulsi, it's time you know. Hegseth, it's time. Burchett, it's time. And then going back to some old Q posts, it's time. Are we there yet, guys? Is it time? It sure seems to me like we're getting a lot of signal right now. And it's all lining up with major shifts in the intelligence community. And it's interesting. The BlackBerry? Hillary Clinton BlackBerry emails, maybe? Who knows? The flags, nation flags, mostly European, taking down City of London, maybe? I don't know. But very interesting. Timing is everything, and Trump knows it. Guys, we are headed. It is 2 weeks till July 4th. And after that, we're headed into fast track season to the midterms. It's only 5.5 months away. So buckle up. There's got to be a lot coming in the next few months. Tulsi started it, and it's only going to, I think it's really about to accelerate. And so God bless you, Tulsi. Thank you for what you did. And we're so ready to win like never before. All right, guys, hit that like, that subscribe. Very exciting stuff. We're going to get into, speaking of the midterms, the next segment I'm going to get into is how things are shifting fast for Trump and MAGA heading to the midterms. I'm getting very excited because it's looking more and more like we're going to pull it off and I think maybe even gain. So before I get into it, I do want to get back into the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. I got a $10 super chat from I Speak For You. It says, I don't feel it was right for Israel to not be included in this agreement. After all, Israel has been paving the way for years through underground, i.e. Mossad. Fair. That's a fair criticism. I Speak For You. All I'd tell you is that my only answer to that is that I think Trump knows what he's doing, and I trust Trump. I'm sorry I don't have anything better for you. Is that a fair criticism? Sure. But I would say that I trust Trump in this above all else. So I think there's a reason for that. Let's see here. Doc No says Solomon's one of the few good, decent guys. I agree with that. Kev says, of course, the virus was released on purpose. In 2017, Fauci was on video saying a virus was coming. Yes, he did. Also, by the way, it was 11 days before Obama left when he lifted restrictions that allowed the gain of function and stuff to happen again, I believe. So crazy stuff. Jump in, winners. We're going winning. I love it, Toe. Absolutely. Let's see. '20 lockdowns were awful. Think of all the Americans who died and all the businesses that were killed. It's going to take us, probably another 5-10 years to fully recover from COVID, but Trump is definitely accelerating it. And that is a good thing. But yeah, we can never get those lives back. That's for sure. DJ says, maybe Biden and Trump made a deal to pardon Hunter so they can bring him to court. Now he can't lie because he'll compromise his pardon. Hunter will be useful for Trump. Maybe. That's an interesting thought. We'll see. We'll see. Obama was about his BlackBerry. Good point. That's very, very interesting. Anything else here? Franny says, I trust God. God seems to bless Trump, so we should trust Trump. I agree with that. Jay says, all those Hannity episodes back in the day, Solomon, Sarah, Gorka, Joe DeGenova, I can never say his name right, Victoria, Greg. Hannity is interesting because Hannity in his heart is an establishment Republican. But I'll tell you, I think Hannity had an awakening at some point, or at least is willing to be controlled by Trump because he does some good stuff too. Just like Lindsey Graham. We all know Lindsey Graham's establishment Republican neocon, but Trump uses him and he always falls in line. And I think Hannity is the same way. Obama's wife has blackberries. Oh my God, Toe. I cannot believe you went there. Oh, that is awesome. For everybody who can't read and is just listening, Toe Cramp just commented, Obama's wife has blackberries. That is hilarious. Oh my God. So funny. Okay. I don't even know. I can't, I have nothing. I have nothing after that. You won. You won. You know what? Maybe it's time to pull the George Costanza. I'm out. Once everybody gets laughing, you leave. I'm out. You leave on the high note. So you can never beat that again. So you might as well just go for the rest of the day. You peaked. You just peaked. The show might have just peaked. I might have to go now, guys. I got to sign off. The show's peaked. Unbelievable. That is too funny. Whew. That's good, man. That is good. Yeah, the Ellen DeGeneres show. That's exactly right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I got to get myself under control before we go on here. This is, that was too good, man. Whew. We got to do the, got to show Georgie here real quick. One of the greatest ideas ever by one of the great shows ever. And Mike's not here to fight me on it. Georgie goes out on the high note.
And it gets worse.
I better make sure I only show like 10 seconds of this. Otherwise it's going to cut me.
All right, well, why don't we smooth the head down to nothing, stick a pumpkin under its arm, and change the nameplate to Ichabod Crane. All right, that's it for me.
Leave on the high note. That's how you get people to like you. So good. It's the best. One of the many with the $2 super chat says one per berry. Oh my God. This is too perfect. That's unbelievable. Yeah, check. Take the check. Whew. All right. I gotta get it under control here. Gotta get it under control. You broke me. You broke me, Toe. You broke me. Oh man. Whew. All right. Okay. Let's get into it. All right. So momentum is building for the midterms. The Trump administration, MAGA, is starting to ride high right now. Democrats missed their chance to take over. The blue wave is starting to disappear. And one of the reasons is, and the perfect timing, is we now have all the election stuff getting outed. The FBI under Kash Patel, the DOJ, is investigating all the election fraud, and California gave us a perfect excuse to do so. FBI Rapid Response Team has now said, got him. FBI agents descend on Skid Row in massive voter fraud probe after stunning claims of election bribery. I got to tell you, this completes a few things. Number one, if they catch it, it starts making it more possible to pass things that make it more difficult. But the other part of this is that this is going to put fear into everybody who engages in election integrity, or fraud, which will stop a lot of it. It'll slow it down, because it's one thing to do it, to partake in election fraud when you don't think you'll get caught, when you think it's allowed to happen. It's an entirely different thing when you know that this FBI will crack down on you. So this is signal as much as anything else. Now, Trump calling out Utah the other day. Now, Utah, friends, has voted red a lot, but Utah is also run by the establishment Republicans, very much like Indiana was until Trump just cleared them all out. But Utah there's the tell right here. Utah's trying to go all in mail-in voting, which is what turned Colorado blue, and it's what keeps states like California completely entrenched by the Democrats. Utah, as Trump just tweeted out, it seems as though the great state of Utah, which I won each time and handily, is going to all mail-in ballot format of Colorado and the rest that always head left as soon as the move is made. We should stop Utah from doing this. All mail-in ballots dishonestly handled are a big advantage for Democrats, whose only road to victory because their policies are so insane is cheating. Does the Republican Party have any idea what's happening to it? Step by step, state by state, Democrats are smiling all the way to the bank. Quotation marks. That's interesting. Banking the votes. Stop the onslaught by either immediately terminating the filibuster and or pass the Save America Act. And he followed it up with this. Anybody who doesn't want to terminate the filibuster is a fool. A very stupid one at that. Democrats will end it within minutes of taking office and rapidly proceed to destroy our country, adding 2 radical left states, 4 Democrat senators, many congressmen, women, their dream of 21 Supreme Court justices, not just 13, an unlucky number, an impossible to beat number of electoral college votes, and that's the ball game. Popular vote, landslide, so much else. Republican Party will never win another election. I will sadly be the last Republican president. Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Republican Senate must not let this carnage happen. They will go down the wrong side of history as all Republicans who stood by and watched. Republican Party isn't at stake. Our country is. Terminate the filibuster, immediately approve Save America Act. God bless the USA. Trump is really ramping up the language here. And I think it's because he's feeling himself. After Iran, where we're at now, with all this stuff coming out, remember, they know, everybody knows Pulte's now at ODNI. They're scared of him. They all know John Solomon is now going to be a part of exposing the election fraud. This is just, they're terrified. And then now Trump calling them all out again. He is trying to move the levers, and he's got a whole lot of leverage on him right now. Thanks to Pulte, thanks to how he maneuvered this whole thing with FISA as well. A lot of leverage, and it's only going to grow. The question is, how much pain are they willing to withstand? Now, a good reminder and is that in all of this, people keep getting outed. So we have John Kennedy now. 2 traitors within the Republican Party are blocking the SAVE Act. Senator Kennedy and Senator Capito from West Virginia are 2 of the lesser-known senators blocking action behind the scenes. Kennedy plays a folksy conservative in public, but his voting record when it matters is unreliable. Capito's turning out to be unreliable as well. And West Virginia is as red as it gets. This is the way you out them to replace them. And Kennedy, despite the fact he's clever, he says good stuff, turns out he might be a rhino as well. And interestingly enough, most people have no idea Kennedy was a Democrat until 2007, serving in high-ranking Democrat positions in the Louisiana government for decades. His lifetime conservative voting record with Heritage is only 77%. Average Senate Republican score is 86%. So he's lower than even many of the rhinos. Isn't that interesting? We need this exposure to keep happening. Okay. What if I told you guys that maybe 20 to 30% of the Republicans in the Senate are MAGA, are trustworthy? It takes longer to get them in line. The House is different. House is maybe 70% MAGA now, but that's because they have elections every 2 years. It's easier to weed them out. And that's why Johnson is able to get the House in order, because there's so few rhinos in the House that they dare not go against the other 70. Johnson's always able to whip them in order. But the Senate's a different beast. Every 6 years is their elections. It takes longer to weed them out. Trump just knocked off 4 of them this election cycle. Next election cycle, if they don't play ball, see, the ones who play ball get to stay. Trump is fair. He's fair. He lets Lindsey Graham stay because Lindsey Graham plays ball. The question is with Kennedy, is he going to be one of those who plays ball, or is he going to keep getting outed and reveal who he really is? The Save America Act, which Trump is pushing right now, is one of these key issues that's going to separate the wheat from the chaff so that we can decide who to get rid of. Now, amidst all this, they're going to be in a lot of pain because as things improve, Trump's only going to grow stronger. As of this morning, gas prices are now down below $4 a gallon, dropping fast. Very fast. Per AAA, 402 yesterday, now 3999 and dropping. It's a pretty big deal. Been dropping fast. Look at this. A month ago, 450. Dropped 50 cents in a month. We're heading in the right direction. Now, you see a year ago, 318. Well, guess what? Right now, oil is the same price it was a year ago, which means low threes are coming very soon to a gas station near you. See what I did there? Now, the Democrats know it and are freaking out because they had one issue this fall in their favor, and that was the economy.
Well, that's why the Democrats are mad we won the war, because now prices are going to come down and they can't run on affordability. And what are they going to say about affordability anyway? Remember how great things were when we had power last year? You guys spent so much money that like gas was $5 a gallon. Inflation was 9%. You guys let so many illegals into this country. Rent went up 30%. Crime was at an all-time high. Democrats aren't even proud of being Democrats. You ask a Democrat, you're like, no, I'm an independent. I'm not really a Democrat.
I'm a Democrat socialist.
Right. It's like, they're like, no. And like in high school, you call someone a Democrat, it's like a slur. Teachers are like, hey, watch it. You can't say that. I don't know. You guys aren't proud of Biden. You're not proud of Kamala. Who's your guy? Schumer? Is it Hakeem Jeffries? These are the horses you guys are going to ride into battle. Jessica, you guys are ridiculous. You keep on saying this guy's demented. You guys are getting smoked by dementia. He's taken all your pieces off the board. USAID, SPLC, the illegals, the trans, the DEI. Name something. He just knocked it away. All you do is complain. Affordability? You just talk about the ballroom or some other made-up fake news thing that's on MS Now. It's not even like a real campaign. You're like, stuff's expensive. Oh, really? You didn't care last year.
So good. And as prices crater, because oil's cratering and it affects everything, as the market is adjusted to the all the tariffs and goods are going down. I mean, yeah, it's getting really good. I mean, as Jesse just really well really well illustrated. The Democrats are a joke. And look at this. Now, since the war's over, inflation expectations are collapsing. Look at this. Falling off a cliff. Inflation kept popping up. This is March at the top of the war. These are the expectations, by the way, what they're expecting going forward. Trump kind of gets the war tangled. They still expect it high. And now everybody's saying, oh yeah, oil, energy, it's going to collapse. See, prices are going to go down a lot, guys. And this, like, they're freaking out about it. The other thing they're freaking out about is how popular what Trump just pulled off is. See, I showed you guys this before. Who approves? Well, 56% approve, but only 13% disapprove. But when you get into the numbers, it's even worse for Democrats. Republicans approve 66 to 8% right now. So the base is on board. Only 4% strongly disapprove. You know what that says? There's actually only 4% of neocons in the Democrat or in the Republican Party. Despite the fact they're like 50 to 60% of online people, only 4% of Republicans are very against this deal. Guys, MAGA and there's what you're like, you know, everybody's why is this not 100? Well, there's a reason because a lot of people are waiting to see how it turns out. That makes sense, okay? But 66 to 8 is massive. So Trump has got the base fully behind him. And to win midterms, you need the base. You need the base because independents don't turn out for midterms, and neither do the wishy-washy ones, the young people, the people still figuring out their positions. They don't turn out either. But who does turn out? If they're happy with you, the old school voters who are entrenched, who believe in you, as long as they're happy, they'll pour out. They are very happy with this. Even Democrats overwhelmingly support the deal, 3-1. That's massive. And this is going to really help Trump gain a lot of momentum moving forward. He says Republicans will probably get to like 95.5. That's probably true. I agree with that. And with all this momentum, we're now at a 58% chance to hold the Senate. Recent high, I'm telling you guys, it's more like 95%. The Senate's going to be ours. I'm not worried about that at all. The Fauci American Power Index has Republicans at 3.5. Republicans' highest point in a month. You can see it's just a goofy metric. It doesn't really mean that much, but it's about perception. Who's winning in the country right now? You see Republicans were high during the early Trump, and then Democrats took over. This was the blue wave when they were feeling themselves. Republicans have just taken back over. This high right here was Venezuela, I believe. So you can see Republicans, man, the momentum is back, and they're really in a bad place. Democrats, now this is the big tell right here. Remember, polls lie, but poll trends don't. And the way you know where the polls are really trending is watching the aggregates, like on Real Clear Politics. They have collapsed on the generic ballot. They were D+8 just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Now they're down to D+4.8, and that's with outliers bumping it up. You gotta remember, they need to win by over 5 points popular vote to win the House. This means right now the Republicans will win the House. For reference, 8 years ago, they were D+7. And the margin did not get them the Senate or let them hold Florida. This is crazy because we've been told the Democrats have a blue wave coming, that Trump's so unpopular, but he's holding on, and Republicans are getting stronger and stronger as it goes. And we just hit the momentum wave. Now that Iran's over, prices are going to plummet. It's going to only get way better from here. Oh, and wait till they drop more stuff like what Tulsi just dropped on Fauci. We get election integrity stuff, more corruption coming out from the Biden-Obama administrations. Oh, yeah, it's going to be big trouble. By the way, isn't this hilarious that Big Data Poll, which is Rich Barris, who completely lost his mind, he's one of the outliers with a +13 for Democrats. Barris has lost it, man. He's completely lost it. As Seth Keshel says, Trump did the dirty work and took the poll beatings early, which is exactly right. He was smart. Do all the tough stuff in the beginning of the year. Let the polls get a little hurt. And now play to the base the rest of the year until the midterms. July 4th, massive. World Cup, massive. UFC fight, massive. Patriotism, patriotism, patriotism. Feels good to be American. Oh yeah, let's celebrate America 250th anniversary. Meanwhile, oil prices plummet. Inflation plummets. Prices go down. More money in your pockets thanks to tax cuts. More jobs thanks to regulations cuts. Yeah, that's all coming. All at the same time, and after. He's not going to be having to do any of these major hard things anymore, like in controversial things like Iran. Got out of the way. Brilliant. The timing is absolutely brilliant. And if you doubt me, if you don't believe me, well, then why is Megyn Kelly trying to come back? Oh, Megyn, you left Trump. You ditched MAGA. You said he was stupid. You said he was a warmonger. Called him Epstein class. Went all in. And now she's practically begging to come back. Here's Megyn Kelly just yesterday.
It's a great thing that this war is coming to a close. It's a great thing.
Yes,
and the president should be praised, and you should not listen to these.
Megyn, you should have trusted him. You should have trusted him. If it's so great, it ended. After only 3 months.
Frothing at the mouth neocon hawks who want more war. When they rip all over this deal, what they're really pushing for is more bombing, because there's no alternative to Trump right now. There is no alternative. The Iranians are not going to bend. They did well in this war. They actually did very well against us. That's the reality. And
that's just what? Iran did well against us? That's retarded, but okay.
Trump has accepted that reality and is trying to cut our losses. Good for him. Good for him. He's a practical man.
Wow, he's a practical man? I thought he was a warmonger neocon. I thought he was Epstein class. Megyn, you're responsible for a lot of people believing that. Are you serious right now? No, Megyn knows where the trend is going. She knows Trump won, and he's winning with the people again. And she's terrified that she chose the wrong angle. And now she's going to be kissing ass for the next few months to try to get back on the right side of history.
Let's pray he does not submit to the pressure from these much more hawkish folks who have been cozying up to him for the past 3 months, who hated his guts prior, and resume a bombing campaign. It is good that President Trump has learned the truth about listening to Netanyahu.
Yeah, he learned the truth. That's what it is. Or maybe he just was there the whole time. Remember I showed you guys yesterday, Tucker just did this exact same thing. Now, Tucker wasn't being as nice to Trump as Megyn is here, but it was the same thing. Trump has learned his lesson. He turned on them. You guys get your talking points out? Did Alexander Dugin send you a memo? Guys, we're not doing so well. Time to get back on track. Is that what happened? Because this is suspect.
Oh, and these people. It is good that all future presidents will have this excursion as an example of.
You notice how she keeps reading? She's reading her points. Watch her eyes.
That President Trump has learned the truth about listening to Netanyahu and these people.
She gets stuck right here. See, she's reading. She's like, what's next?
It is good that all future presidents will have this excursion as an.
There it was again. She gets stuck. She's like, what am I supposed to say here? Excursion. But I thought you really tell your thoughts, Megyn. I thought you really believe what you say.
Example of what happens when you try Middle East adventurism. Not just like, okay, I mean, we had that. I realize, we had that with Iraq and Afghanistan. But we thought we could do the quickie here. We thought we could do the Venezuela. And we've learned the hard way you can't.
3 months. 3 months of the biggest bad in the world after China and Russia we were all grown up with. 3 months? Really, Megyn? We got them to capitulate. We had knocked out their military, and we're going to act as if like we learned we can't do it. Are you serious right now? This is insane.
You can't, not without major consequences that are very negative for us. And look at, the president's approval ratings, the Republican approval ratings, the fracturing of the president's coalition, white working class men no longer supporting the president. What? And anywhere near the numbers that they did. Blacks are gone. Hispanics are gone. Independents are gone. All groups that were with the president are gone. So there's work to be done to regain the trust of those voting blocs, which do matter. But the upside of it is future presidents will look at what President Trump.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's enough of that. That's enough of this lies. But you can see she's trying to thread the needle, the same needle that Tucker is trying to thread. Because what just happened, all their narratives were blown up. Trump controlled by Israel. Obviously not. Trump controlled by the neocons. Nope. They hate him. J.D. Vance. He's one of them. No, he's fully on Trump's side in all this. Oh, no. What happened to your narratives, guys? Uh-oh. Oh, we got to come up with something. And so her and Tucker out there parroting the same BS in their talks to the audience. Crazy stuff. But what it tells you guys is we're winning. It tells you we're heading in the right direction. This is the way they admit defeat. And I'm telling you right now, they're all acting like they're doing this because they're so idealistic and stuck to their guns. No, this is really why. Because the generic ballot is closing the gap. Trump is bouncing back. I mean, look at this bounce right here. Look at that. That is a complete reversal, folks, for the Republicans. That is what has them terrified. And they're realizing now that they're not going to get 2 years of lame duck Trump. They're not going to get 2 years of beating up on him and trying to get that establishment wing globalist back. They're realizing, oh, God, we screwed up. Now we got to try to get back in because they've lost all their influence. And that just tells me, guys, that the midterms are going to go much better for us than anybody's predicting. And, my update, I went from 95% Senate. That still holds. Last I said about 60% for the House. I'm at 70% now. We're going to win the House. And that's amidst all the craziness we've gone through. So it's going to be a good, exciting year, but we'll keep up with it because I only think it's going to get much, much better from here as more drops come, the prices go lower, and we still haven't seen half of the celebration of the country that we got a taste of from UFC the other night. So MAGA, Trump people, guys, we're not only winning, we're about to shock the world, and I'm excited about that. All right, hit that like and subscribe. Thank you, guys. Got one more small section here I'm going to do at the end, just showing how much we're winning. Kevin with the $100 super chat again, my man. Thank you, dude. You've been unbelievable to my channel lately. Thank you so much. He says, Dugans, bleep, 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 bleep. I completely agree with you, Kevin, man. And thank you, bro. You've been such an amazing supporter of the channel. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you. Let's see here. Johnny Strayhorn says, irrationally based telling us there's a funny vid of Jill and Obama abandoning Biden. You know what? I think I saw that. Irrationally based, welcome to the Basic ASOL membership. You now can see all the members' lives. Thank you for that, friend. Let's see here. $5 super chat from the Mangus says Obama's Iran deal left them with usable uranium and enrichment capabilities. Trump's doesn't. 100% true. Took it all out. Absolutely. Let's see. Well, you know what? Let's look for the Biden video. So I know everybody's celebrating Kevin right now. And well, I mean, absolutely. Kevin, you nailed it, bro. It's all right. Let's look up Biden's video here. Is this it? Yeah. Here's Biden getting abandoned at Obama's speech last night. They hate Biden. I just want you guys to know. They think he's a joke. Obama always has.
My granddaughter.
is just sad at this point. It is just sad at this point, man. Holy cow. I cannot believe they let that guy out in public. That is so pathetic and sad. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Poor. I honestly, like, if he wasn't such a horrible person, I might even feel bad for him. But he's pretty much getting everything he deserves in this emasculation of him in these later years. Oh my God. All right, well, his own wife walked out on him. How crazy is that? All right, let's just do this last part because it's only going to take a few minutes. But I do want to talk about one of the major signs of us winning is culture, and I'm going to continue to hammer on this culture stuff because culture matters. And when you win in culture, that lasts for a generation. Now, Harmy Dillon has come out and said she's going after Major League Baseball for forcing their players to wear pride stuff and not allowing them to wear Bible verses. As she writes right here, swing and a miss, Major League Baseball encouraged players to wear Black Lives Matter on their uniforms, but reportedly threatened Christians who write Bible verses on their hats. We will investigate whether this amounts to religious discrimination. Guys, this is huge because this is going to shift sports leagues going forward. Remember, when you have the big stick, you got to use it. And Republicans in the past never had the guts to use this stuff, but the Trump administration does. So you wield the big stick, you use it, and then you teach everybody not to keep doing this nonsense. So this is a massive win, showing that the Giants players who put the Bible verses on their hats might actually spark the end of Pride Nights in sports over the next couple of years. Because I'm telling you right now, the sports leagues don't want to deal with this. Now, their courage begat more courage. And in a Pennsylvania minor league baseball team, the York Revolution forfeited their Pride Night game because they didn't want to wear the rainbow jerseys. The team came out and called out its own players, said the refusal was completely inconsistent with their vision as the most welcoming place in York. So they made a donation. But this is what they wanted the players to wear. The players refused, and they forfeited their game. Guys, we get more and more courage like that. It spreads and major changes happen. So this is awesome. This is a major cultural shift. And this time, the bully is not on their side. It's on our side, backing these guys up. So as that spreads, it's just great stuff. And the next thing the Trump administration is doing, remember, they're kind of like everywhere, everything everywhere all at once right now. And Secretary Kennedy doing the same thing that Harmeet is doing on the cultural side, this culture war side, fighting back the excesses. Well, Secretary Kennedy is doing all kinds of stuff for our health. And man, he's doing a good job. But this is why I think it's more important than him just doing stuff behind the scenes. He's teaching us a better way, setting new examples. And he says, America faces more than a chronic disease epidemic threatens our physical health. We face a spiritual malaise, undermines our mental health. This is so good. And these initiatives, I know like they might seem silly, but they actually do have an effect because this is the kind of stuff that gets shown to schools and kids, and it's going to start a backlash to the whole screen, be stuck in your house all day culture we've raised up and get kids outside again, which increases testosterone, gives better mental health, makes you healthier long-term, physically stronger. This is the kind of stuff you build up a new generation, and that change lasts. And again, little stuff like this, I pay attention to because ultimately long-term it matters. And they're doing a lot. Remember the whole fight over glyphosate? It's not over. Lee Zeldin announced that we're doing an ongoing review of glyphosate. Here's Zeldin breaking it down.
Because when you go to that webpage, you're looking for a particular study, and if you don't see it, you say, well, what is the government hiding from us? I think instead that we should make sure that even the studies that are the anomalies that you don't think are good, that you're showing that and explaining why it is that maybe you're not putting weight to a particular study. Now, right now, we're going through a review on glyphosate. My message to our staff is very clear. We have We have dedicated career scientists who have been there 10, 20, 30 years. They love their job. They're smart. They're talented. My message to them is there is no prejudging of what your review is going to show. I do not want to tell you in advance what the science is going to show you.
Okay, so that's important. What he's saying right there is that this is a notice to the Monsanto community and ag community that's behind this stuff, that we're not prejudging. We're going to show what the science says. And I think it's a warning that we might actually Trump allowed American companies to use glyphosate for temporary, saying like, he didn't lift a ban off all glyphosate or all the other stuff people said, like funding it to get out there again, all this Roundup. Well, he did something temporary so that our food supply wouldn't be disrupted. And Kennedy came out and agreed to this and said, yes, let's do the study so we can actually get to the point, while also studying how to fight pests off in a more natural, healthy way, instead of using glyphosate. So that we're in a transition period. This is more proof that that's where we're headed. As Zeldin, who's EPA, is now partnering with Maha on this. So guys, all the lies that the Maha movement's over, it's just not true. It's building up steam, and it's only going to get stronger as we get through the midterms, especially if Republicans can pull it off. Now, as always, I love their marketing. And again, this is just the vibes. Kennedy put out, we flipped the food pyramid before we even got GTA 6. For those who don't know, gamers have been waiting on this game, Grand Theft Auto 6, for 13 years. And it keeps getting pushed off. It's supposed to finally release this year. So the big joke is we got stuff done before they got this game out. And it's pretty hilarious. Here's a little video they did on it. May contain nutritional facts for children. So good, man. So good. So clever. You can tell the vibe has shifted, right? And just going back to UFC, where I talked about the shift is here. You can start feeling the pro-America feeling is back. The patriotic feeling is starting to come back. Well, look at this. Gateway Pundit says more people watch UFC America from White House than any Super Bowl ever. That's apparently the new numbers coming out, guys, that this UFC event, this super patriotic event, super cool event with great fights. Joe Rogan himself called it the greatest event he's ever seen or been to. It got more viewers than Super Bowls. That, my friends, is a major, major shift and an announcement to the world. We're back, baby. We're back. Culture is shifting. And that is so important because it's so much more than just a few policies. Culture shifts, that lasts for a generation at least. So we're looking at 20, 40, 50, 60, maybe more years that we are at the beginning of an era, not at the end. So great stuff ahead. And that's why I continue to be extremely optimistic about our future. All right, hit that like and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. James says she's not ready to be MAGA. Who's that? Megan? Thank you for the super chat. I just wish you'd put the name so I knew exactly what you're talking about, since I might be a different place in the live than where you're watching. But thank you. Let's see here. Miss Titan joined the Ace Club here on YouTube. Thank you for that. Miss Titan, I appreciate having you. Please make sure to check out the members lives. And then if you really like that and you want more, then you want to go to Patreon in the description. Check that out for free for a month and get into the Discord. All right. Because that's where you can get even more from the membership. But thank you for the support. And I hope you enjoy the members lives. Mara Dobson says, I need to get off small potatoes, talk about meat of the day. What are you talking about? I covered the meat of the day already, man. I'm 2.5 hours into my live. What are you talking about? I ended with the potatoes. We ate the meat first. We always eat the meat first here. Taya Day says, last night I met with Chairman RNC Washington and Senate candidates. They said there are thousands of volunteer lawyers in every state working with admin on election integrity. I love that. You know that that's one of the reasons we won 24, because Laura Trump at the RNC deployed over 1,000 lawyers nationwide to make sure that our elections were on the up and up. So really, really helpful. And so that's a big deal. That's great to hear. Let's see here. Yeah, always optimistic here, guys. Brave New World or Gold World. Interesting. I'll think about it. GJ Fusion says, Biden's hilarious. I know they're evil. It's the type of disastrous evil I'm trying to watch. That's true. All right. Well, not too much I'm seeing out there. Did I just see one? Nope. All right. All right, guys. Well, hey, listen, it's Friday. We're going to call it a day. I will be back Monday. I'll always be back on the weekend if something big happens. Members, I owe you guys a class. So I was hoping to do it yesterday. I got tied up. So it might come later this afternoon or this evening. So keep an eye out for that. I will let you guys know in the Discord and in the Patreon. And also I'll announce it on the members post here on YouTube when it's coming. Super chats, Kevin with your massive super chat again. Thank you so much. That was huge. But you guys are just amazing. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to everybody, by the way, who was so agreeable today on our disagreements, especially in the first couple sections. You guys are amazing. I really, really appreciate it. That's how we do it. I don't think I banned one person today, and it was just some dickhead who jumped in and, had to make himself known, and then I launched him out. But that was awesome. So amazing stuff. Again, for everybody who doesn't know, I do this Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. That is the timing for my show. It's like clockwork. So we'll keep doing it. But really appreciate you guys. Please hit the like and subscribe on your way out. You guys are amazing. K Shui, welcome to Basic ASOL. Thank you, K Shui, for joining. But again, remember, guys, the YouTube membership, it's only $3, and that's because you guys get the members lives, which is great. The Patreon, if you join there, you also get the Discord access. So it's a little more valuable for your buck. Plus, you can try it out for a month. So I do recommend, if you really like the show and you want to be part of this community in a deeper way, join the community in the Discord. It's awesome. Lots of great people in there. So, but you guys are amazing. Let's pray and get out of here. So, Rumdog says, why don't comments show up in the replay? I don't know. They're supposed to. I don't know. I'll see if there's a setting I can change on that. All right, guys. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Bless everybody watching, Lord. Thank you for them. Thank you for all you do for us, Lord, and for what you're doing in this country. Thank you that we are clearly on the way back. And I just so grateful to the Trump administration and all the people working with him to really bring our country back. And I just pray, God, that it's not a blip, but it truly is the beginning of a much better future for our country for the next several decades even. That's what we're believing for. So I pray people continue to wake up. I pray that, God, more would get done. I thank you for what's going on in the Middle East. I pray that wisdom, God, would continue to be fed to Trump and his team and navigating all these crazy fights, Father. And just bless them with protection, wisdom, and courage. And for our country, Lord, we pray for more peace, prosperity, and justice than ever before. Let it keep ramping up and exposure and awakening to happen, along with accountability. And we thank you for that, and appreciate, God, the miracle you gave us in the Trump administration and the saving of this country we've received. Bless everybody here again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Also, last thing, guys, remember, Rich Does Politics. I just did an interview with him this morning, so I'll have 2 videos on his channel coming in the next couple days. So keep an eye out for that. Go support Rich. He's amazing. Go support Static in the Attic. He's a great creator as well, who called out my show a couple days ago. So check those guys out for more. And for everybody doing great stuff, all the creators out there trying to, stay positive and keep on the narrative. I'm blessed by you. And for everybody here who supports the channel with your likes, your subscribes, your memberships, whatever it is, your super chats, I am so, so grateful to you. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless you all. And I'll see you guys all next week, next Monday. God bless.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish, quiet. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is